Good morning. Once again, good morning. And welcome to the pre-service meditation here at Centers for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore. Now is the time for us to become still. And as we become aware of this breath, fully and exhaling completely, we allow the breath to remind us that there is only this moment called now. Can I take a breath for 3 minutes ago? Can I take a breath for 5 minutes from now? We can only breathe in this moment. And so as we become aware of this moment with this breath, we let go of all the thoughts of the past activities of the morning. We let go of everything that brought us here to this moment. And for right now, we suspend any thoughts of the future activities of the upcoming morning, afternoon, and evening. We let go of the thoughts of the past, we let go of the thoughts of the future, and we become present to this moment. For truly, life is fully lived in this moment. Spirit, God, the infinite intelligence, is now. All needs are met now. And so as we allow this breath to relax the body temple, we surrender to this moment. We surrender to the knowing that all we need do is surrender. So on this next exhale, allow the body to relax fully, symbolizing a letting go into the infinite intelligence that breathes the breath. Letting go into the infinite intelligence that beats the heart, that thinks the thoughts. Surrendering to that infinite intelligence that speaks the word. How good it is to melt into the divine. Let it go. Let it all go. We allow this breath to usher us into the throne room of the heart, the inner sanctum, the Holy of Holies. In this space, we find our creativity. In this space, we find our imagination. In this space, we experience unconditional love. Oh, how good it is to breathe. In this space, we become face to face with what is known as the Atman presence, what was known as the higher power. Truly it is ourselves. This is that self that knows exactly where to go, how to go, when to go. And we connect with it with this breath. Peace. Be still and know that all is well. peace, be still, and know. Peace, be still. And just keep your awareness on the breath. As it enters and exits the nostrils. And if the mind drifts off of the breath, that's okay. Just simply and gently bring it back to the breath. Within this space, allow yourselves to feel grateful. Allow yourselves to feel gratitude. Gratitude is something we do not think. Gratitude is that which we feel, which we be. Be grateful. How good it is to be grateful for the stillness. How good it is to be grateful for this moment. Ah, yes. So grateful. So very grateful. And from this springboard of gratitude, we dive deeply into the unconditional love of spirit, melting even further into the vibration of love, to the point where we do not know where we begin and love ends, or where love begins and we end, for there's no separation. For love, as us, is eternal. We are the eternal expression of love. Feel love. Be loved. Experience loving. Be still and love. Be still in love. And so now we begin to gently bring ourselves back to this realm, becoming aware of the room that we're in, the sounds within the room, the vibrations in the room. Lovingly, we once again become aware of the body temple, where we feel our feet on the floor, our seats in the seats, becoming aware of the vibrations going across the skin. And as we once again become aware of our surroundings, we are keenly aware that we can always return to this space, the throne room of the heart, the inner sanctum, the Holy of Holies, simply by intending to do so and by consciously taking a breath. So as we conclude this morning's pre-service meditation, we continue to know that we are the love of life, that we are the light of the world, that we are the presence of gratitude. Peace and blessings.
All right, well, let's get the party started. That was a good segue because I wasn't sure how I was going to move from that very sweet meditation, thank you, Eugene, to this very upbeat song. So that's perfect. Here we go. This is what I feel like when I wake up in the morning, most mornings. Feel free to sing along. I woke up this morning morning, joyful as can be. That's how I spend my day, and that's how I'll sleep. I woke up this morning, joyful as can be. That's how I spend my day, and that's how I'll sleep. I woke up this morning, joyful as can be. That's how I spend my day, and that's how I'll sleep. I woke up this morning, joyful as can be. That's how I spend my day, and that's how I'll sleep. 'Cause I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. Oh, I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. Grateful. I woke up this morning, grateful as can be. That's how I spend my day, and that's how I'll sleep. So much gratitude. I woke up this morning, grateful as can be. That's how I spend my day, and that's how I'll sleep. Think of things you're grateful for. I woke up this morning, grateful as can be. That's how I spend my day, and that's how I'll sleep. One more time. I woke up this morning, grateful as can be. That's how I spend my day, and that's how I'll sleep. 'Cause I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. Okay, this is the part where I really want you guys to participate, okay? So wherever you are, I know you're not probably in front of a whole bunch of people, so don't be afraid to be silly, because that's kind of what this life is like about. It's about silliness. There's a lot of silly and a lot of play. So we're gonna say, I woke up this morning, playful as can be, and I want you to get really playful with it. Okay? Do some weird accents, sing along with me in an opera voice, make some animal sounds, or make some weird faces. Here we go. I woke up this morning, playful as can be. That's how I spend my day, and that's how I'll sleep. I woke up this morning, playful as can be. That's how I spend my day, and that's how I sleep. Oh, meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Maybe an elephant. Or a dog. That's how I spend my day, and that's how I sleep. 'Cause I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. Yeah, I love being alive. That was like my screamo voice. That was bad. It's the greatest thing about my life. One more time. I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. Meow, 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 meow.
Good morning. Woo! Playful Sunday, y'all. Woo! Thank you, Jesse. In order to help with our new method of recording our virtual service, we request that congregants and participants who are not speaking, participating, or interpreting, please turn your camera off until after service. At that time, all can come on camera to fellowship and share the love. Thank you for your cooperation. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore's virtual service. I'm your host, Minister Mo Wharton. Our speaker today is our Senior Minister, Reverend Raymont, Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson. Our musician, as you know, the playful, loving, wonderful Jesse Powers. Woo! Serving as today's practitioner who led the pre-service meditation is Eugene D. Holden. Assisting with making this service open, inviting, and accessible to the deaf community are our sign language interpreters, Renuka, Purimetla, and Sonya, Chavis. Woo woo! Holding things down, working behind the scenes is Tracy Rhymes. Woo! Yes. On behalf of Reverend Dr. Ray, thank you all for your service. At CSLGB, every Sunday is Invite a Friend or Family Member Sunday. Spread the love. Invite someone to service. You'll be so glad you did. We'd love to have them join us. Before Eugene grounds us in prayer, let me share this about him. Eugene Holden has been a student of science of mind and spirit for over 30 years. Eugene served the World Ministry of Prayer at Center for Spiritual Living Home Office. Eugene also served as Home Office Liaison to the Diversity Commission, serving as trainer and facilitator. After 14 years, Eugene continues to be a well-loved contributor to Science of Mind magazine, inspiring lives around the world. Eugene allows vision to guide him. It's prayer that fuels him. Eugene is deeply committed to his purpose of joyfully assisting others in remembering who and what they truly are. Divine beings of light. Eugene believes that together we can reveal the kingdom of heaven right here on earth. What is heaven? Heaven is ever expanding good.
Thank you, Minister Mo. So join me in this affirmative prayer. We take a nice deep breath. How good it is to recognize that there is only one thing happening here. There's only one thing going on here, and that is the activity of the infinite intelligence. Living, moving, and having its being in, through, and as all of us in everything in life. It is from a place of gratitude that I recognize that this one power, this one presence, this one life, it is at the very center of all of life, and having no circumference whatsoever. There isn't anything that can, does, or will exist outside of the presence of God, for truly God is all there is. In the beginning, God, the Alpha, the Omega, the in between that. It is that from which all things are created. It is the very nature of this infinite intelligence to permeate and to penetrate and to feel the interspaces of the universe, meaning that there is no space where God is not. There is no space where God is not. The space between the fingers is filled with the vibration of God. The space between the inhale and the exhale is filled with the frequency of spirit. And so recognizing and acknowledging that God is everywhere, present at all times, I know that at all times, God is present right here, right now, right where I am, where there's no separation. It is not the life of God separate from my life. It is the life of God revealing itself in, through, and as my life. And as I know this to be the truth of my life, I know this to be the truth of each individualized expression who is tuning in today with CSL Greater Baltimore. I know that right where we are, God is. Right here, right now, God is, we are. And so it is from this divine awareness of our oneness in God that I joyfully speak this word. I name, I claim, I declare, and I accept that this time together today, this time is good. But we have come together by divine appointment for the soul's purpose of guiding and directing us to experience only the highest and the best. For we are the thing itself. We have come together once again in celebration to open up our hearts and our minds and our souls. And we become receptive and available to hear the words of spirit as they are expressed through our beloved, the Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson. Knowing that Reverend Raymont continues to be the vehicle and the vessel of spirit, I know that he is open and receptive and available to hear and then to give, to receive and then to give the message of the heart. For this and for so much more than these words can ever convey, I truly am forever grateful and thankful. And so it is from this space of gratitude and thanksgiving that I now release my word into the beautiful and dynamic activity of love and law. You see, this is what I know. I know that as this word is released into the law lovingly returns its word unto us completely fulfilled. It has no choice. It has no other recourse. It must take these words and mold them and blend them and mend them and shape them and then send them back to us, not void or empty, but absolutely and completely fulfilled. And so fulfilled, we simply and lovingly allow it to be. And so it is. Amen. Take a breath.
And so it is. Thank you, Eugene. Whew. The Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's community honors the world's religions. One tree, many branches. One mountain, many paths. One world, many religions and spiritual traditions. With lighting of these candles on the first Sunday of each month, we not only honor each person on their select path, we also bless them and recognize the light, the love, and life-affirming path of spirit as it shows itself in each path, in each practice, and in each person. Happy Pride! Yes, June is Pride Month. In recognition of the LGBTQ Pride, here's some history for you. Miss Major Griffin Gracie, born in 1940, came out as trans when she was a teenager. It was an era where most people didn't even know what the word transgender meant. She was bullied so relentlessly by peers that she avoided going out alone to prevent physical attacks. And without a doctor familiar with the concept of transitioning, she had to treat herself with estrogen hormones that she bought illegally from an amusement park fortune teller. For 2 decades, she supported herself with sex work and burglary while struggling with homelessness and being in and out of mental hospitals where trans women were often sent in lieu of jail. Whew. On June 27th, 1969, Miss Major met friends at the Stonewall Inn in New York City. They were there when the bar was raided by police and Stonewall uprising began. She was arrested after being struck on the head by a police officer. This was not her first trip to jail. In the early 1970s, she was serving a sentence for robbery when she met a man who had been a leader of the Attica prison riots. He encouraged her to read about Black history and give her pointers on how to really help her community. When she was released in 1974, she hit the ground running. Miss Major moved to California, where she launched grassroots efforts to trans women who are incarcerated, homeless, or struggling with addiction. During the AIDS crisis, she and other brave trans women provided healthcare and funerals for victims when no one else would. She even found a drop-in center for trans AIDS victims at the Tenderloin AIDS Resource Center. She eventually served as executive director of Transgender Gender Variant Intersex Justice Project, which works to support trans women of color who've been incarcerated and fights against police brutality and criminalization of sex work. Miss Majors has provided direct aid to trans women throughout her life, everything from hot meals to housing assistance. She's known to those she helps as mama and considered them all family, lovingly call them the girls. Whew. Now I have some announcements to share. We currently have 3 weekly ongoing ways to study, learn, and discuss. On first and third Monday nights, the Sacred Contracts Book Club, hosted by Nancy Rosenberg. Then slide on over to Wednesday night, the Science of Mind Textbook Exploration Group, facilitated by Reverend Dr. Ray. And then skip, pop, to Thursday night, study group facilitated by practitioner Dr. Ronnie Ellington. I know you want to be a member. The discovery class is now available online. Contact us at info@greaterbaltimore. Excuse me, don't do that. Wait. Contact us at info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org or visit the website for more information on becoming a member of CSLGB. Sign up for the CSLGB newsletter, the CSLGB Facebook page, and Instagram page. Get more news and information by visiting cslgreaterbaltimore.org or .com. Interested in a community camping trip? A CSLGB getaway? Sue Italiano is checking to see if there's any interest. If so, send an email to her, sueitaliano@gmail.com. The CSLGB Ministry of Education has upcoming classes. Woo! Let's learn together. Foundations of Science of Mind, facilitated by practitioner Dr. Ronnie Ellington. If interested in taking foundations, contact Sue Monahan. Once 4 or more people express a desire, a Saturday class will be scheduled. Conversations about race. Racial literacy as a spiritual practice. Every second Wednesday of the month from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., a year-long journey of experiencing racial literacy as a spiritual practice. As Centers for Spiritual Living holds the vision of creating a world that works for everyone as our beacon, our spiritual work is examining our thinking, both our personal thoughts and those passed on to us in a collective, socialized manner. Required reading: A Race is a Nice Thing to Have, A Guide to Being a White Person, or Understanding the White Persons in Your Life, by Janet E. Helms. Love offerings are greatly appreciated. For more information, contact practitioner Rebecca Arena Beal from CSL Columbia at 410-340-4805 or email bella358@comcast.net. The Essential Ernest Holmes. Facilitator is practitioner Eugene Holden. If interested in registering, contact Sue Monahan. This class starts Thursday, July 6th from 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Email him at eugene@eugeneholden.net for more information. For full class descriptions and more information in general, you're encouraged to visit our website, CSLGreaterBaltimore.org or .com. Find more educational opportunities in our center and other communities we're partnered with. Would you like to receive a daily text and voicemail? Hearing the beautiful voice of Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson? Me! Type JOIN, JOIN, to 833-633-9021 to begin receiving your daily inspiration. You'll be so glad you did. Woo! Prayer works. Yes, let's say it together on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Prayer works. Yes, that's better. We as a community continue to treat and move our feet, knowing the truth for everyone around the planet. Prayer requests can be sent via email to info@CSLGreaterBaltimore.org. Our musician today, the loving and playful Jesse Powers, is a self-proclaimed conscious indie pop musician based in Columbus, Ohio. Her perspective and penetrating lyricism. Wait, I'm gonna say that again. Penetrating lyricism. Yes. Tumbling vocal stylings and powerhouse pop melodies combine to create a unique but oh so catchy sound that entertains and profoundly awakens those who listen. Her music has been described as real, raw, down to earth, and like emotional surgery. Her debut full-length album, Begin, was released in November 2017. Her second full-length album, To Remember, will be released this summer. Booking inquiries contact info@jessiepowersmusic.com or go to the website jessiepowersmusic.com.
Thank you for that introduction, Mo. There was so much gusto in there. I loved it. The song is called Rise. It's about getting up in the morning and embodying the unique essence that you are. These days I've been having trouble waking up. I'd rather stay asleep than try to believe in a higher love. I think I'm fooling everybody else. I say that I know that I'm loved, but I don't, 'cause I'm still punishing myself. You see, I've been holding it in, this brilliant light. They told me it was intimidating, so I've been keeping it inside. But when I woke up this morning, I realized that something this bright is destined to rise. So I gotta rise. I'm gonna rise up from my bed, get into my body and out of my head. I'm letting go of holding on to the notion that something's always wrong. I'm incredible, it's beautiful, this life that I live. And so I'm gonna hold my head high like the queen that I am, living my life for the wonder that it is. These days I've been having trouble getting mine. Stuck still in a tiny bubble, just watching my life roll by. I get anxious, I'm afraid of everyone else. But to be honest, it just gets worse when I'm alone with myself. You see, I've been holding it back, this power inside, too scared to act. So I live in my mind, but now I see power is in my nature. Just like day comes after night, naturally I gotta rise, I've gotta rise. So I'm gonna rise up from my bed, get into my body and out of my head. I'm letting go of holding on to the notion that something's always wrong. I'm incredible, it's beautiful, this life that I live. And so I'm gonna hold my head high like the queen that I am, living my life for the wonder that it is. It ain't enough to just believe. Living life is a physical kind of spirituality. It ain't just in the movement of your mind, it's the movement of your feet. It's in the steps that you take. It's the body alive. It's the love that you make. It's the way that you rise. So I'm gonna rise up from my bed, get into my body and out of my head. I'm letting go of holding on to the notion that something is wrong. I'm gonna rise up from my bed, get into my body and out of my head. I'm letting go of holding on to the notion that something's always wrong. I'm incredible, it's beautiful, this life that I live. I'm incredible, it's beautiful, this life that I live. I'm incredible. I am. Oh, I'm gonna hold my head high like the queen I am. Oh, I'm gonna hold my head high, hold my head high, hold my head high, hold my head high, hold my head high like the queen that I am. Living my life for the wonder that it is.
Whew. Thank you, Jesse. Yes, rise up, hold my head high. As a queen, as a king. Woo! Yes. Thank you. Mm. Woo! And now Eugene will lead us in a spiritual practice.
Ooh-wee, that was the spiritual practice. Jesse Powers, beautiful song, powerful song. Man, gonna hold myself up. Man, anyway, here we go. I'm gonna rise. So today's spiritual practice is a reading. So let me just get right into this. It's called The Soul's Call to Freedom. The month of June within Centers for Spiritual Living has been all about the soul's call. Some of us begin to hear the call of the soul only because we were pushed by pain until the vision pulled. While we are preparing ourselves to be pulled by vision, which is the soul's call, we may find that life gets uncomfortable. This is when we learn to trust the indwelling spirit and lean into the discomfort, allowing ourselves to get the lessons needed to be the clear vessels of spirit. Leaning into the discomfort allows us to see through the eyes of the infinite. Therefore, it cultivates within us compassion. Through this discomfort, we learn that we can only evolve with and through love. Let me repeat. Through this discomfort, we learn that we can only evolve with and through love. As Dr. Ernest Holmes wrote, love is the victor in every case. Love breaks down the iron bars of thought and sets the captive free. Now we are ready to answer the soul's call to freedom. You see, you were sent here as an ambassador of love. You are the way that love shows up in the world. And as you set yourself free to love life, guess what happens? In turn, life is now free to love you. Say yes to your soul's call to freedom. Say yes to you. Peace and blessings.
Thank you, Eugene. Say yes to your soul's calling for freedom. Senior Minister of Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore's Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson has frequently been referred to as a Renaissance man. One look at his resume and the reason becomes clear. As a lifelong learner with a passion for self-development, personal transformation, transmutation, and self-awakening, he lives his bliss as a teacher, mentor, speaker, minister, and so much more. His mission is to live, move, and be an active, that's authentic, compassionate, transparent, inspired, vibrant, and empowered, active member of society who serves to facilitate, elucidate, emancipate, awaken, and empower people and communities. Here he is.
Am I on, Tracy?
Yes,
Oh,
you are on.
Are you sure?
You gotta turn that on first.
Yes, I have to turn this on first. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Eugene. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Sonya. Thank you, Renuka. Thank you, everybody, for making service what it is today. And thank you, everybody who joined in today. Thank you so much for making CSL Greater Baltimore the place to be. Thank you. And let me put this out there now, because Tracy and I both, we made playful fools of ourselves. Well, one, Tracy didn't have the mic muted, so yeah, we was up here like acting, meow, 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 meow. Woo, yes, okay, whoo, breathe, breathe.
Yeah, that's song.
Breathe, yes, yes. I was up here clucking like a chicken and all kind of, woo, because that was right up my alley, like, and it ties perfectly into today because, so as Eugene said, this month has been the soul's call. And there's this idea of what does it mean to be you? And to be you so boldly and powerfully that you are willing to live life to the fullest. That it's not about, you know, accolades and certificates and degrees and money and all that. It's not about accumulating. It's about being exactly what you are. So today we're talking about, at the heart of Namaste is a clarion call for the soul to express its beingness freely, boldly, unapologetically, and to be fully what it already is. We must recognize the divine in ourselves, emancipate ourselves, and be the meta physicians who heal ourselves first and then others, because as Fannie Lou Hamer said, I mentioned her last week, she said, when I liberate myself, I liberate others. So who heal ourselves first, knowing that we are also healing and liberating others. Harriet Tubman could only free others because she herself was already free. When we do it, we give other people permission to do the same. Our evolutionary vision, a statement from CSL, the global vision that is related to today's topic. We see a world in which each and every person lives in alignment with their highest spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with God, or as I like to say, unity as God, and connection with each other, a world in which we individually and collectively, we are called to a higher state of consciousness and action. Did you hear that part in Jesse's song when she talked about moving your feet and action? Namaste. We do it. We say it. Namaste. Namaste, as Renuka would say. Namaste or namaste, tomato, tomato. It's all the same potato to me in terms of it doesn't matter how you pronounce it. It matters how you feel it. Right? We say the words, hey, how's it going? Namaste, hola. But if you're not feeling the word in terms of its meaning, then it's empty, it's vain, it's pointless. But when we recognize Namaste, God in, through, and as me, sees itself in, through, and as you, take a breath. God, Spirit, the infinite power and presence that is in me, that moves through me, that is ever with me, and is incarnating itself as me, sees the exact same in, through, as, with you. God recognizes itself, honors itself, loves itself. We are one. What happens if every time you say hello to someone, every time you say, what's up to someone, every time you bob your head to say hello or wave, that back of that always, or as Tracy said, peace, every time back of that is this idea of I honor, recognize, acknowledge, and celebrate you because I know exactly who and what you are. So whether we say namaste or not, let's be namaste. Science of mind, Tracy said deep. Y'all probably heard that because she got the mic on this time instead of it being muted when it was supposed to be. Science of mind says, meow, 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 meow. Science of mind says, we are to see that spirit creates all things by the power of its own word, and that we are spiritual beings. We are to hear that inner voice of truth. And as Eugene said, this gratitude isn't just what you say. This gratitude is what you be. So the same thing, we are to hear that inner voice of truth. We are to allow that inner voice of truth to be exactly what we are. Don't just hear it. It's not just the inner voice. It is the inner flesh, the inner spirit, the outer flesh. It is all that we are. Every muscle, every bone, every fiber is resonating with and as that truth. What is this truth proclaiming? It is proclaiming the freedom of all life, the eternal unity of God with all that is. You got that? That is the truth of your being, freedom and unity with all life. Pause and breathe. So if you, and I know there's quite a few of you who are not of my age range, and that's fine, that's cool, that's cool. I acknowledge that I'm 55. 55 is the new 25 though. So when I was, Tracy, stop it, I'm sermoning. When I was growing up, this gentleman, Fred Rogers, also from Pittsburgh, used to sing this song. You are my friend, you are special. You are special to me. You are the only one like you, right? And I heard these words growing up. And there was that part of me, as Jesse sang, there was that part of me that was like, yeah, but I'm not special, but I'm not. And if you knew me, you wouldn't want to be my friend. And as she said, I got to the point where I was like, you know what? That narrative, no more. Release that idea. Because if I can't be my own friend, then I cannot be anyone else's friend. So you are my friend, I am my friend. You are special, I am special. You are special to me because I am special to me. There's only one in this wonderful world. There's only one you. God, Spirit, Source, incarnating itself uniquely, individually as each and every one of us. And yet, each and every one of us must be that specialness that God is. Not any more special than anyone else, but special because we are divine. Special because we are love made flesh. Special because we live. We live that one life. There is only one life, and that life is God. And that life must be special because it is God. And if it is living itself as us, then that specialness must be personified, embodied, grounded deeply within our bodies, within our minds, our emotions, our soul. Fred also goes on to say, if you could only sense how important you are to the lives of those you meet, how important you can be to the people you may never, ever meet or dream of, because your energy reverberates and vibrates and resonates throughout creation. There is only that which God is. And what happens in one aspect of God must happen throughout it. As the Dalai Lama said, just as ripples spread out when a single pebble is dropped into the water, the actions of individuals not just can have far-reaching effects, but do have. There are people who today did not hear Jesse's song. There are people here today who did not join in for Eugene's morning meditation or were not here for the opening prayer. There are people who right here are not here for this message. And yet what we know is the energy that we send out into the world resonates throughout all of creation. There is only one mind, that mind is God. So when Jesse sings from the mind of God, sings as the mind of God, when Eugene meditates from the mind of God, as the mind of God, when Sonya and Renuka interpret from and as the mind of God, and when I allow myself to speak and as the mind, from and as the mind of God, then we know that there is only God, a circle, circumference, nowhere, center, everywhere. Our energy must be contagious and powerful and resonant. Janet Mock says, self-definition and self-determination is about the many varied decisions that we make to compose and journey toward ourselves. Journey towards ourselves. This month being Pride Month, we've highlighted several people and groups regarding this idea of how do you step into honor and recognize yourself even when others bully and beat and try to beat you down, beat you into submission? How do you rise up in the morning still ready and willing to face, still ready and willing to live life on your terms, with your pronouns, with your colors, with your audacity to be divine? This journey toward ourselves. It's okay if your personal definition is on a constant state of flux. We are ever evolving consciousness. We do not need to be one set thing throughout. You know, growing up, high school, well, it started in elementary school, actually. What do you want to be when you grow up, right? Dude, I'm 6. I want to eat mud today. When you talk about Tracy's like that, I don't know what I want to be. Or well, I want to be an astronaut and a movie star and a musician and a superhero. And Ray, be realistic. Pick one. Dude, you don't know me. And you don't get to determine. I am that which is ever expanding consciousness. And so I embody what it means to forever and ever be on this journey of self-awakening, empowering, and being my fullness in this divine moment now. And when the next now moment happens, I will breathe into that and think into that and step into that moment by moment. We live in a culture where people are so determined to make us conform. Namaste does not say conform. Jesse's music does not say conform. Eugene's prayer and meditation, I gotta say medication. Meditation is medication. There you go, Tracy. It is not about conforming. It is about being transformed by the renewing of all that we are to step into greater and greater and greater ways of showing up. And sometimes stepping out means looking different, sounding different. But whoa, pause. Who said different is bad? If God is demonstrating itself, incarnating itself, expressing itself in, through, and as all that is, then why is the rainbow multiple colors instead of just one? Why are there different? Why is there a color spectrum? Why is Jesse able to play multiple notes instead of just one note? Because that which spirit is forever expressing itself as everything. That means diversity, difference, multiplicity is godly. So when you feel like stepping out and having fun, when you feel like changing the timbre of your voice and speaking in a different manner because Jesse said so, then do it. Why not embrace all that spirit is as us and let go of this idea of needing to fit in and conform? What happens when we step into fully embracing what it means to be our divine selves in all of the ways that that means. Because we talk about unity an awful lot, like that's a key term in New Thought. And sometimes we talk about it like unity means everything's the same. It's homogeneous. Unity means same old, same old. Unity means mashed potatoes without anything in it, no pepper, no salt, no butter, no margarine. It's just potatoes. Tracy's laughing at me right now. Unity does not mean uniformity. Unity does not mean same old bland. Unity means all of the sounds of God come together to make a song and a symphony. All of the words of God come together to make a meditation and a prayer. All of the hands of God come together to make an American Sign Language interpretation. All of us come together as a unified expression of the divine to make a world that works for all. But when we surrender and let other people tell us what we're supposed to look like and act like, it's like, dude, pump your brakes. Be like the one girl. Be like her. Be like that girl who says, look, I'm going to do ballet my way. My ballet involves a flip and a trapeze. Then do it. No one said that your version of ballet or your version of dance has to be the same as, otherwise we would only have one dance. There'd be one move. That was from Saturday Night. Sorry, I gotta say Saturday Night Fever. Saturday Night Live. You remember that? Okay, anyhow, that's all there would be. But we recognize in the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Now pause, let's break this down for a second. Glorify, to honor, to be thankful, to praise, to raise or elevate, that they may see your good deeds and honor and be thankful and praise and raise their own consciousness and elevate. Your Father in heaven, your Father, your parent that is in heaven, your ability and willingness to govern, to lead, to nurture in the same way that a parent does. Your heaven consciousness, which is already within. So this parent idea, it is that part of you that nurtures you, that pours into you, that takes care of you, that gives you the freedom to cluck like a chicken and dance however you want to dance. It's that part. Be that, shine that, let that so shine forth that others see it and they're like, oh, wow, I want some of that. Deepak Chopra says, to be grounded in this experience, you have to be grounded in the wisdom of uncertainty. Uncertainty. In this uncertainty, you will find the freedom to create anything you want. You get that? The uncertainty, that place of mystery, that blank page, that blank canvas, that blank songwriting page where there are just some lines where it's open to the infinite potential to be any song, any meditation, any prayer, any sermon, any dance. It's open. But because of this culture that wants us to conform and fit in, we're like, I don't know what to do. I'm so bound by this idea that I have to know before I go. I have to have my, okay, look, I got plan A set, but plan B is in case plan A falls short. And I got a C, D, E, F, G just in case A and B don't do what they're supposed to do. Right? I'm packing and saving for a rainy day because you never know. You never know when the other shoe is going to drop. You never know when, you know, Murphy's Law. I have to know before I can go. But if we're going to step into what this practice is, this philosophy, this teaching, then we must be willing to be in the mystery. And I mean, really be in the mystery. If I cannot have certainty, then I cannot act. How many of us have heard that, said it? I become immobilized or paralyzed by fear and the doubt of the unknown. Okay, so I don't know. Inaction, procrastination, self-defeating thoughts, habits, and behaviors are the children of this kind of immobilization that I need to know. But we don't. We don't know where the next breath is going to come from. We don't even know if the next breath in this form is going to come. But we breathe and we let go. We breathe and we let go. We trust. We practice the practice. We don't know during service if Tracy's going to remember to mute the mic. We're not, nothing's certain. Or pronounce something correctly. But we go on. We trust. We practice. We do what is ours to do. Michael Singer says, the prerequisite of true freedom is to decide that you do not want to suffer anymore. You must decide that you want to enjoy your life, have fun. I came that you may have life and have it abundantly. That abundance is all bliss, joy, magic, power, laughter, silliness. That abundance is all of that. You want to enjoy your life and that there is no reason for stress, inner pain, or fear. And the fear, this aspect of fear is like that unrational, illogical fear that we lump upon ourselves. Because if you're in a quote unquote dangerous situation, or you see a dangerous situation, you happen to be the tow truck driver who's picking up the car because we're stuck on the New Jersey Turnpike, and you see Renuka standing off on the side of the road with the door open, you move towards her because you're fearful that she may get sideswiped and dead. So fear moves you with speed to tell her, young lady, please get in the car. It's not safe out here. So that is logical fear. But to carry that, once it's done, let it go. There's no reason to carry the fear into the next day or the next day or the next day. So we breathe, recognizing that we have a choice. How do we choose to show up? There's an excellent film called Disclosure about transgender individuals in the media, in life, and they're sharing their thoughts about what representation means, et cetera. And there's this one particular passage where Marion Wright Edelman said, children cannot be what they cannot see. Each of us is someone's child. We cannot be what we cannot see. And it's not just about children, it's about all of us. We cannot be a better society until we see that better society. What is the vision that you hold in your mind about a world that works for all? What is the vision that you hold in your mind about a life that works for you? What is the vision that you allow yourself to see in order to then treat and move your feet? If you don't see it, how can you be it? I cannot be in the world until I see that I am. I cannot be in the world until I see that I am in the world, right? We are already in it. But if you look at television, do we see representation? We have many centers, but do we see this diversity and inclusion and celebration in? Our task is to envision, hold the vision, and then live that vision, be that vision, be bold enough, unapologetic enough to command our lives, excellent stewardship, to be the very demonstration of a world that works for all, to step out and show others what it means to be loving, compassionate, silly, fun, blissful, magic, and powerful. As I said earlier, Fannie Lou Hamer said, when I liberate myself, I liberate others. When I liberate myself, when I am willing to have fun, when I am willing to be free, when I am willing to be unapologetic, then that must therefore go and infect others. Nelson Mandela quoted from, and we're all familiar, well, most of us are familiar with the Marianne Williamson passage. When you let your own light shine, you unconsciously give other people permission to let their lights shine. When you bring your light from under the bushel and you place it on the hill, you give other people permission to see your light and say, where's mine? I put that light out a long time ago. Let me start it up again. Let me renew the flame. Let me be willing to shine my light, even if those who are around me are unwilling to shine theirs. There was just a story shared. I don't remember where the graduation happened, but it's a high school graduation, and a queer student, valedictorian, begins to deliver his speech. And the moment he mentions, he's like a minute in, the moment he mentions being queer and not feeling supported, the principal unplugs his microphone, comes up on stage and takes his speech and basically tells him, this isn't the speech I approve. You need to do the speech I told you to do. So what does the student do? The student shines nonetheless. Speech was memorized. Students spoke the original speech, no matter what others wanted or demanded or thought I will not be silenced. I will not let my light be dimmed. I will rise. I will shine. I will breathe. I will sing. I will dance. I will be what God is as me, period. Are we willing to be that bold and step out? Rita Mae Brown says the most revolutionary thing you can do is to be yourself, to speak your truth, to open your arms to life, including the moments of pain that we may experience, because those moments of pain do not have to be suffering. There are painful things that happen. A condominium just crumbled to the ground. People disappeared, people are missing, people are dead. That's pain. There are those who grieve and mourn. That is pain. We do not deny the pain. We do not run from the pain. We acknowledge it, but we also acknowledge that in that pain, there is a truth that demands to be spoken. There is a light that demands to be shined. There is a love that calls us forth into enveloping these people, praying, treating, and moving our feet. Are we willing to do that? Are we willing to be bold enough? So you see this image. What do you notice? Do you notice the one particular oddity? What about now? Do you notice him? So be that guy, just like the young girl on the right. Be her, be him, be the one who notices what the masses are doing and says no. Be willing to say, I will not allow myself. Have the audacity to say no. I will not conform to the pattern of this world, but will be transformed by the renewing of my mind and will be a force of transformation in the world. It takes courage to do this. It takes boldness to do that. It takes audacity to do that. Recognizing that there is something that is uniquely yours. That spirit is uniquely demonstrating, expressing itself in, through, and as you. What is that thing that makes you you? Makes you unique, makes you special, makes you God personified, embodied, and incarnate. What is that? Alice Walker said, I am an expression of the divine, just like a peach is, just like a fish is, and I have a right to be this way. That which God is expressing itself in, through, and as every one of us has a right, a divine right to be exactly what that is. Doesn't matter what others expect of us, but I expect you to have children, but I expect you to have a job. I expect you to live here. I expect you to wear your hair this way or that. I expect you to be straight. I expect you to whatever they expect. What do you expect of yourself as the divine presence that is in expression as you? What do you expect? What do you expect your life of freedom to look like? What do you expect? Expect, meaning, what is it that you are placing into the soil? My expectation by putting a tomato seed in the soil, I expect a tomato to grow. I don't put a pumpkin seed in the ground and expect an orange tree. I expect what I plant. I expect what I pray to manifest. I expect the life I live to reap a just and equitable and harmonious equivalent. I don't expect to think poverty and get wealth. That's not in alignment. But I expect that if I treat and move my feet, I expect that if I have thoughts of love, compassion, power, and fun, that it must demonstrate in my life accordingly. What is it that you expect by your thoughts, by your words, by your feelings, and by your actions? What are you expecting to be, to demonstrate in this world? Okay, I don't say what again? Oh, I like that. Thank you for that. Today's, or this week's, Tracy's laughing at me again. This week's quote unquote journal assignments.
Ooh, I like that.
What does it mean for me to show up authentically, unapologetically, godly? What does it mean for me to show up in this way? What is your no? And what is your yes? To what things, when you say no, you mean no? These are non-negotiables. My no is my sacred no, and my yes is my sacred yes. That when I say yes to something, you trust and believe that it will occur. Integrity. That when I say no, no. Nothing personal, but no. Yes. Sacred. What are yours? What does it feel? What does life? What does a life of freedom look like? Living a life that is free. What does it look like? Because we can talk about it, but if we don't know what it looks like, if I cannot see it, what would your life look like if you were living freely? And you may be, but can you live more freely? If spirit is ever expanding consciousness, then are there ways that we can be even more free and more free and more free and more free, born free to live life so freely, to live life and be me, born free. Okay, I'm done. It's Jesse's fault. It's Jesse's fault. Okay, so, and then she started it, and then Eugene played into it, and then Renuka and Sonya. It's everyone's fault except for my own. Okay, so I digress. Back to our regularly scheduled program. And then lastly, have a conversation with 3 people about the above ideas. The more we converse about it, because that's actually a practice, the more we converse about it, the more we are understanding what it is that we are thinking and feeling, because we're expressing these ideas. Simply sharing what it means to each of you. Identify some people who you think embody these ideas, their way of life. Who embodies that? Do I know anyone who embodies that? What are the characteristics that you see demonstrated by them? And as always, if you ever want a copy of the PowerPoint or those questions or whatever it is, just email Tracy or I, and we will make sure that you get copies of whatever. If you ask, you shall receive. Today's affirmation and declaration, Tracy just said, if you ask. Today's declaration and affirmation is, I will say it first and then together. I consciously, confidently, and audaciously live my truth. Together, I consciously, confidently, and audaciously live my own truth. I know that's right, Tracy. I know that's right. And speaking about someone who lives their own truth, at this moment, let us open our hearts and our minds and our bodies and our beingness to once again welcome to the stage the wonderful expression of the divine right here and right now as Jessie Powers. Put your hands together. Love you, Jessie.
Oh, that was amazing. Thank you. Wow. I love this community. Okay. Try not to talk too much. The song is about how every soul is a songbird. That divine, beautiful expression. You can't even help how amazing you are. Did you know that? So Sometimes I am a songbird, singing high harmony atop the hemlock. I play my precious part in the earthly symphony. Sometimes I am a human. I still sing, but it's not the same. A human sings because she has something to say, and a songbird sings because it's the only way. All control is just illusion. It's not about control. What is it about? No, it's freedom we possess. Total freedom, more and more. Such a small price to let go of what we do not. Brother, sister, do you remember me? Brother, sister, oh, I remember you. Brother, sister, do you remember me? Brother, sister, oh, I remember you. Every soul is a songbird. Every life is a song. Every moment the definition of perfection. Beyond right, never wrong. Brother, sister, do you remember me? Brother, sister, oh, I remember you. Brother, sister, do you remember me? Brother, sister, oh, I remember you. Oh, brother, oh, sister, do you remember? Oh, brother, oh, sister, do you remember? Oh, brother, sister, do you remember? Brother, sister, do you remember? Sing your song! Sing your song!
I sing because I'm happy. I'm happy because I sing. La 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 fa la 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 la. Deck the halls. Oh, sorry. So thank you so very much, Jesse. Thank you. Like, there are no words. So I was watching Campapalooza yesterday, and when I logged in, like, a good portion was already over because, you know, I was out. And when I got in, it was just a couple minutes before you came on, and I was like, oh, she's gonna be with us tomorrow. Yes. So thank you very much for the amazing person that you are and this blessed gift that you are in the world. Thank you. So let us breathe and recognize that at this moment of service, this is when we recognize that tithing, donating, whatever words you use, it is a spiritual practice where you are laying the groundwork, putting the seeds into the soil of consciousness so that your beloved community, CSL Greater Baltimore, is better able, better equipped financially to do what we are here to do. So not only are you doing that with your finances, but remember, when you see it first, then it transpires, then it manifests, then it demonstrates, because your equivalent of consciousness is showing up in the world. So when you anchor to your own divine wealth, harmony, and prosperity, and then you give from that consciousness, then of course your community is blessed by it and the world is blessed by your community. So that being said, recognize that the practitioners of this center, with their regularly scheduled tithing per month, are also pledging an additional $25,000 by the end of this year. 6 months away, pretty soon we getting there, right? And thus far we have $9,440 towards that goal. The community's matching pledge of $25,000 by the end of the year, thus far to date, is $1,075. Breathing in, recognizing with gratitude that you know that this community is grounded and anchored in spiritual principle, and that this community is walking the walk. We're not just, giving lip service to want, science of mind and want, new thought, that we are actually breaking paradigms, old stories, old narratives, etc., and are leaning into the discomfort and leaning into the new edge of what it means to live and exist in a world that works for all. That means a world of equity and justice. That means a world where there is more than enough food and homes and safety for all people, and that this community is serious about doing that work. If you are, because there's some new folks here, if you are curious or want to know, how do I tithe into this community? How do I donate? You may do so. You may do so through PayPal. You may do so through text messaging. You may also do so through the postal mail. And if you ever have questions, you can always email or go to the website for more information. And you are also able to designate a certain portion to certain things. So suppose you want to tithe to emergency care, you want to tithe to the new building fund, you want to divide between education and music ministry, like you are able to do so. Just designate it and it will go where it goes. Or you can trust the Board of Trustees to do what they do as excellent stewards of all of our time, talent, treasure that we have in this community. If you are ready, let us declare our financial wealth and abundance. Ready? Together.
Ready.
Together, Tracy.
All right.
I joyfully, consciously, and gratefully participate in the law of circulation. I trust in the spiritual principle that says, as I sow into my beloved community, I demonstrate my awareness of standing not only in the flow, but as the flow itself. As I sow of myself, my time, my treasure, my talent, I demonstrate my support and engagement in my community's vision, mission, and purpose. I actively give as a demonstration of manifesting, of reaping the harvest of a world that works for all. Breathe that in, recognizing that this wealth and abundance and prosperity is the very demonstration of God, of source of spirit, in, through, and as every single person. That health, joy, happiness, love, wonder, fun, and silliness is our divine birthright, and that is what we are abundant with. I came that you may have life and have it more abundantly, to express this abundance in all of the ways that we show up. That includes how awesome and amazing each of us must be. But in this moment, we acknowledge this awesomeness and we choose to live from, move from, and as the awesomeness that we are in the flesh. And there was the word, that word is awesomeness, and that word was made flesh and lived, moved, and had its beingness as you right now. And so we breathe because service now comes to an end, but we recognize that this thing called being of service to, through, and as life continues. So go out today and be that. She talking about some move the slide. I don't want to move the slide right now, Tracy. Don't be rushing me. Hey, don't rush me. So go out and be your awesome self today. Now, for those who are wanting prayer, desiring prayer, feeling that pray urge, know that you have the opportunity to have a one-on-one prayer session with Eugene, our practitioner on duty today. If there are other practitioners online who are able and willing to also serve today, then if there are multiple people, we will, put you in, Tracy will put you in the appropriate breakout room so you can pray. Keep in mind that you need not only pray or have prayer when something is not going the way you desire. When you are feeling that especially meow, 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 you can pray for even more of that, right? Like you can pray for more awesomeness. Tracy's laughing at me again. So just know that prayer works for opera. Prayer works for everything, not just shifting from bad to good, quote unquote, shifting from illness to wellness, quote unquote. It can shift from wellness to even more wellness, exponential wellness. Today, I am asking for prayer for wellness 2.9, 7.0. I want wellness to the 10th degree, 10th power. Like you can pray for that. So let us ground and anchor, knowing that this infinite power and presence of all that is present right here, right now, in its full, grand, glorious nature, in, through, and as all that we are. There is nowhere that any of us could go that we are outside of this expansiveness of God. It is all there is right here and right now. So let us go out and be that godly, glorious, beautiful, divine self in the world, and therefore give other people permission to meow, 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 meow. And so it is.